from anybody after the Prophet till he died. Volume 2, Book 24, number 552. Narrated by Umar, Allah's apostle, used to give me something, but I would say to him, "Would you give it to a poorer and more needy one than L?" The Prophet, p.b.u.h, said to me, "Take it. If you are given something from this property without asking for it or having greed for it, take it, and if not given, do not run for it." Volume 2, Book 24, number 553, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. The Prophet said, "A man keeps on asking others for something till he comes on the day of resurrection without any piece of flesh on his face." The Prophet added, "On the day of resurrection, the sun will come near to the people, to such an extent that the sweat will reach up to the middle of the ears. So, when all the people are in that state, they will ask Adam for help, and then Moses, and then Muhammad, p.b.u.h. The sub-narrator added, "Muhammad will intercede with Allah to judge amongst the people. He will proceed on till he will hold the ring of the door of paradise, and then Allah will exalt him to Maqam Mahmud, the privilege of intercession, etc. And all the people of the gathering will send their praises to Allah." Volume 2, Book 24, number 554, narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "The poor person is not the one who asks a morsel or two of meals from the others, but the poor is the one who has nothing and is ashamed to beg from others." Volume 2, Book 24, number 555, narrated by Ash-Shabi. The clerk of Al-Mughira bin Shuba narrated, Muawiyah wrote to Al-Mughira bin Shuba, "Write to me something which you have heard from the Prophet, p.b.u.h. So Al-Mughira wrote, "I heard the Prophet saying, Allah has hated for you 3 things. 1. Vain talks, useless talk, that you talk too much or about others. 2. Wasting of wealth by extravagance. 3. And asking too many questions, in disputed religious matters, or asking others for something, except in great need." See Hadith, num 591, Vol. Il, Volume 2, Book 24, number 556, narrated by Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas. Allah's apostle distributed something from the resources of Zakat amongst a group of people while I was sitting amongst them, but he left a man whom I considered the best of the lot. So I went up to Allah's apostle and asked him secretly, "Why have you left that person? By Allah, I consider him a believer." The Prophet said, "Or merely a Muslim who surrendered to Allah." I remained quiet for a while but could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him. I said, "O Allah's apostle, why have you left that person? By Allah, I consider him a believer." The Prophet said, "Or merely a Muslim." I remained quiet for a while but could not help repeating my question because of what I knew about him. I said, "O Allah's apostle, why have you left that person? By Allah, I consider him a believer." The Prophet said, "Or merely a Muslim." Then Allah's apostle, p.b.u.h, said, "I give to a person while another is dearer to me, for fear that he may be thrown in the hellfire on his face, by renegating from Islam." Volume 2, Book 24, number 557, narrated by Salim bin Abdullah from his father, Allah's apostle said, "The poor person is not the one who goes round the people and asks them for a mouthful or two, of meals, or a date or two, but the poor is that who has not enough money to satisfy his needs, and whose condition is not known to others, that others may give him something in charity, and who does not beg of people." Volume 2, Book 24, number 558, narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "No doubt it is better for a person to take a rope and proceed in the morning to the mountains and cut the wood and then sell it, and eat from this income and give alms from it than to ask others for something." Volume 2, Book 24, number 559, narrated by Abu Hurairah. We took part in the holy battle of Tabuk in the company of the Prophet, and when we arrived at the Wadi al-Qura, there was a woman in her garden. The Prophet asked his companions to estimate the amount of the fruits in the garden, and Allah's apostle estimated it at 10 ausuk, 1 wasak equals 60 saz, and 1 sa 3 kilograms approximately. The Prophet said to that lady, "Check what your garden will yield." When we reached Tabuk, the Prophet said, "There will be a strong wind tonight, and so no one should stand, and whoever has a camel should fasten it." So we fastened our camels. A strong wind blew at night, and a man stood up, and he was blown away to a mountain called Tai. The king of Ilah sent a white mule and a sheet for wearing to the Prophet as a present, and wrote to the Prophet that his people would stay in their place and will pay jizya taxation. 1. When the Prophet reached Wadi al-Qura, he asked that woman how much her garden had yielded. She said, 10 ausuk, and that was what Allah's apostle had estimated. Then the Prophet said, I want to reach Medina quickly, and whoever among you wants to accompany me should hurry up. The sub-narrator Ibn Bakar said something which meant, when the Prophet, p.b.u.h, saw Medina he said, this is Taba. And when he saw the mountain of Uhud, he said, this mountain loves us and we love it. Shall I tell you of the best amongst the Ansar? They replied in the affirmative. He said, the family of Bani Najjar and then the family of Bani Sa'ida or Bani al-Harith bin al-Khazraj. The above mentioned are the best. But there is goodness in all the families of Ansar. Volume 2, Book 24, number 560, narrated by Salim bin Abdullah from his father. The Prophet said, on a land irrigated by rainwater or by natural water channels, or if the land is wet due to a nearby water channel, ushur, that is 1/10, is compulsory as zakat, and on the land irrigated by the well, half of an ushur, that is 1/20, is compulsory as zakat on the yield of the land. Volume 2, Book 24, number 561, narrated by Abu Humaid as-Sa'idi. The Prophet said, there is no zakat on less than 5 ausuk of dates, or on less than 5 camels, or on less than 5 awaq of silver. 22 Yemeni Rials Faransa. Volume 2, Book 24, number 562, narrated by Abu Huraira. Dates used to be brought to Allah's apostle immediately after being plucked. Different persons would bring their dates till a big heap collected in front of the Prophet. Once Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein were playing with these dates. One of them took a date and put it in his mouth. Allah's apostle looked at him and took it out from his mouth and said, don't you know that Muhammad's offspring do not eat what is given in charity? Volume 2, Book 24, number 563, narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet had forbidden the sale of dates till they were good, ripe, and when it was asked what it meant, the Prophet said, till there is no danger of blight. Volume 2, Book 24, number 564, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet had forbidden the sale of fruits till they were ripe, free from blight. Volume 2, Book 24, number 565, narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's apostle forbade the selling of fruits until they were ripe. The Prophet, p.b.u.h, added, it means that they become red. Volume 2, Book 24, number 566, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar bin al-Khattab, gave a horse in charity in Allah's cause and later he saw it being sold in the market and intended to purchase it. Then he went to the Prophet and asked his permission. The Prophet said, do not take back what you have given in charity. For this reason, Ibn Umar never purchased the things which he had given in charity, and in case he had purchased something, unknowingly, he would give it in charity again. Volume 2, Book 24, number 567, narrated by Umar, once I gave a horse in Allah's cause, in charity, but that person did not take care of it. I intended to buy it, as I thought he would sell it at a low price. So I asked the Prophet, p.b.u.h, about it. He said, neither buy nor take back your alms which you have given, even if the seller were willing to sell it for 1 dirham, for he who takes back his alms is like the one who swallows his own vomit. Volume 2, Book 24, number 568, narrated by Abu Huraira. Al-Hassan bin Ali took a date from the dates given in charity and put it in his mouth. The Prophet said, expel it from your mouth. Don't you know that we do not eat a thing which is given in charity? Volume 2, Book 24, number 569, narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet saw a dead sheep which had been given in charity to a freed slave girl of Maimuna, the wife of the Prophet. The Prophet said, why don't you get the benefit of its hide? They said, it is dead. He replied, only to eat, its meat is illegal. Volume 2, Book 24, number 570, narrated by Al-Aswad. Aisha intended to buy Barira, a slave girl, in order to manumit her and her masters, intended to put the condition that her al-wala would be for them. Aisha mentioned that to the Prophet, who said to her, buy her, as the wala is for the manumitted. Once some meat was presented to the Prophet and Aisha said to him, this meat was given in charity to Barira. He said, it is an object of charity for Barira but a gift for us. Volume 2, Book 24, number 571, narrated by Atiyah al-Ansariya. The Prophet went to Aisha and asked her whether she had something to eat. She replied that she had nothing except the mutton, piece, which Nusayba, Atiyah, had sent to us, Barira, in charity. The Prophet said, it has reached its place and now it is not a thing of charity but a gift for us. Volume 2, Book 24, number 572, narrated by Anas. Some meat was presented to the Prophet, p.b.u.h, and it had been given to Barira, the freed slave girl of Aisha, in charity. He said, "This meat is a thing of charity for Barira, but it is a gift for us." Volume 2, Book 24, number 573, narrated by Abu Mabad, the slave of Ibn Abbas. Allah's apostle said to Mu'ad when he sent him to Yemen, "You will go to the people of the scripture. So, when you reach there, invite them to testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that Muhammad is his apostle. And if they obey you in that, tell them that Allah has enjoined on them 5 prayers in each day and night, and if they obey you in that, tell them that Allah has made it obligatory on them to pay the zakat which will be taken from the rich among them and given to the poor among them. If they obey you in that, then avoid taking the best of their possessions, and be afraid of the curse of an oppressed person because there is no screen between his invocation and Allah." Volume 2, Book 24, number 574, narrated by Abdullah bin Abu Awfa. Whenever a person came to the Prophet with his alms, the Prophet would say, "O Allah, send your blessings upon so-and-so." My father went to the Prophet with his alms, and the Prophet said, "O Allah, send your blessings upon the offspring of Abu Awfa." Volume 2, Book 24, number 574, narrated by Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "A man from Bani Israel asked someone from Bani Israel to give him a loan of 1,000 dinars, and the latter gave it to him. The debtor went on a voyage, when the time for the payment of the debt became due, but he did not find a boat, so he took a piece of wood and bored it, and put 1,000 dinars in it, and threw it into the sea. The creditor went out and took the piece of wood to his family to be used as firewood." See Hadith, Num 488b, Vol 3. And the Prophet narrated the narration and said, "When he sawed the wood, he found his money." Volume 2, Book 24, number 575, narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's apostle said, "There is no compensation for one killed or wounded by an animal or by falling in a well, or because of working in mines, but kumus is compulsory on rikas." Volume 2, Book 24, number 576, narrated by Abu Humayd al-Sa'idi. Allah's apostle, p.b.u.h, appointed a man called Ibn al-Lutbiyah from the tribe of al-Ast to collect zakat from Bani Sulaim. When he returned, after collecting the zakat, the Prophet checked the account with him. Volume 2, Book 24, number 577, narrated by Anas. Some people from Urana tribe came to Medina and its climate did not suit them, so Allah's apostle, p.b.u.h, allowed them to go to the herd of camels, given as zakat, and they drank their milk and urine as medicine, but they killed the shepherd and drove away all the camels. So Allah's apostle sent men in their pursuit to catch them, and they were brought, and he had their hands and feet cut, and their eyes were branded with heated pieces of iron, and they were left in the Hara, a stony place at Medina, biting the stones. See Hadith, Num 234, Vol 1, Volume 2, Book 24, number 578, narrated by Anas bin Malik, took Abdullah bin Abu Talha to Allah's apostle to perform tonic for him. Tonic was a custom among the Muslims that whenever a child was born, they used to take it to the Prophet, who would chew a piece of date and put a part of its juice in the child's mouth. I saw the Prophet, and he had an instrument for branding in his hands, and was branding the camels of zakat. In conclusion, zakat is an essential aspect of Islamic faith and practice. It is a fundamental act of worship that purifies our wealth, benefits society, and brings us closer to God. By embracing the spirit of giving, we not only fulfill a religious obligation, but also cultivate within ourselves virtues that are essential for our spiritual and social well-being. Let us strive to understand the true meaning and significance of zakat. Let us make it an integral part of our lives, giving generously and sincerely for the sake of God. May our acts of charity be a source of blessing for ourselves, our families, and our communities. Remember, the true value of wealth lies not in its accumulation, but in its utilization for the benefit of others. Let us use our blessings to make a positive difference in the world and earn the pleasure of our Creator.